Venomastera back with another Call of Duty commentary. This time we have an exciting game on firing range, which is probably the best map in the game, and it's Domination, which is the most interesting game type I would say. Now whenever you queue up for games in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on PC, what you see all the time are these playlists that are really just a bunch of different game types crammed into one sort of hybrid playlist. And the choices get fewer and fewer the longer you seem to try to play this godforsaken game that just keeps having more gimmicks and more pay-to-win nonsense shoved inside of it. But I've been playing it a bit with my friends, and I think that it can be pretty enjoyable. My class for today is going to be the Hades with the crossbar, and I also have the laser sight, which is basically steady aim, and I have rapid fire and hybrid mags on it. The hybrid mags really help you not die whenever you're going for reloads. LMGs in general can be very tricky when it comes to surviving reloads, and I'm going to use Firebreak's core to pick off my opponent camping at 10 and pick up the B flag. I always try to play as objective-centric as I possibly can and really get grimy and get in and get the flag. Recently I've been playing Hardpoint because obviously if I want to play an objective game mode of any kind, Hardpoint is going to come up in the hybrid playlist. And I always shoot for 150 seconds of objective time on the Hardpoint. That is the gold standard. If you do 150 seconds, you're doing your team a huge service, and you are just being a huge nuisance for the other team, and if they don't respond to you, well frankly, it is going to be very hard for them to win, as I jump down here and try to duel this guy sort of impatiently, but I win. As far as perks go, I'm only using Engineer, and on this class I've been going back and forth between Equipment Charge and the ComSec device, which decreases time it takes to get kill streaks. The equipment charge is better for characters like Zero, where you really want to spam the ult and the grenade or equipment as much as possible. Firebreak has incredible equipment and ultimate, as we see here, just why the siphoning core is so good. Because it can go through walls, it goes up and down, not just sideways. It's very good for getting people off of objectives whenever they think they have all of the points of view covered. And a sentry goes down in top 10, which absolutely shuts down the enemy's ability to challenge B. They're going to have trouble pushing it from wood. They're going to have trouble doing any sort of flank through 10 because the 360 or the sentry gun can go all 360 degrees. It's not like the Modern Warfare 2 sentry gun that just goes back and forth at like a 45-degree angle. So the sentry really jams up any ability to capture B, and it also really affects the ability to move across the map because 10 sees an absolutely enormous portion of the map. And whenever you're spawn trapping someone on firing range and you already have your 2 flag spawn traps set up, a lot of times they won't just constantly spawn on A or C. They'll spawn down in the firing range, down at the bottom, and unfortunately for that player who spawns down at the firing range, it sort of turns into what you call a rundown type map, as Savage Wood, that's me, has a thresher in the sky showing off the power of the care package, which if you run Engineer you should run care package. It can be a little bit dangerous if you use it alone, but if you have some friends to play with, it makes it where you can really get some ridiculous kill streaks going. Sentry gun is going to be set up at the top of 10 again. As I said before, it makes it very difficult to cap B, but even to run through the map to get in other power positions, wood, it's pretty good against. Look at tower, which is sort of an underrated position because it's so hard to get up. If you actually get up into tower and have the correct weapon, it's a very powerful position. People underestimate it. And the thresher you can see is doing a lot of work here. I think the best kill streaks in the game are the gunship, which is obvious because it's the highest one and it's like the AC-130. It just does a lot of damage. It's a heavy hitter. But for the cost, the Mantis and Thresher are both, I think, very powerful, maybe the best, because they're very hard to shoot down. You can't rocket down a Thresher. You have to kill it with 0 ults or just sustain the prolonged bombardment from the sky, which is not only powerful but annoying, as a nice little triple is picked up there. That's why the Thresher is good, because it's hard to get rid of, and the Mantis is good for a similar reason, because you can't just shoot it down. I think things like the Sniper's Nest and the Attack Chopper, if you're playing against a coordinated team, they're not that good. Now in a public game where no one is trying to shoot them down, or it's just one poor bastard, usually me, just up in the sky dumping shots into it and dying over and over, then it can be a problem. But as it stands against a full team, I don't think kill streaks like the Sniper's Nest and a cock blocker chopper are all that good. And I'm going to run up, reroll, and get a Hellstorm. In Domination or Hardpoint, I view the Hellstorm missile as sort of a one-time get the hell off my flag ticket. I think if you're going to wait for a time to use it, it should be then. And it looks like I'm going to use it here. I always like to begin the Hellstorm by right-clicking, so it slows down and I get as many locks as possible. After that I click the left, get the mini rocket shot out, and then try to aim the final one and get one more kill like it's an old school Pred missile. Pick up a death there, unfortunately. I think I shot the guy and he view kicked up into my head, which was very bad, as the second person gets incinerated. Notice how much I'm playing around 10. That's because whenever they're spawn trapped or it's flipping, a lot of times anytime the spawns are uncertain and home flags are being exchanged, they'll spawn firing range. And the main thing you want on this map is to keep B. I think ideally you want to have B and C, but the crux of the issue is keeping B, because you can easily just take one of the home flags and flip them to the other. So playing around 10 makes that where you can really devastate them coming out of firing range, but you're always in range to protect B. One thing that I've noticed, since this game does not have as many sandbags on top wood is less powerful and you have more people camping in trailer. If you have a persistent trailer camper, you just want to have one guy on your team set up the entire match in the trailer, and usually the guy will stop going or he'll just have a terrible game. But if you just leave trailer unattended, you're going to get killed from the side a lot. And again, a lot of people were in tunnel and I narrowly missed a very hefty spray. And one thing that I find sort of funny and repulsive is that this game, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, has a significantly worse theater mode on PC than Call of Duty Black Ops 1, which was released all the way back in 2010 when I was in high school. The theater in this is worse, which makes no sense at all. It's sort of funny because League of Legends is another game that, you know, the theater mode is in the game, but it doesn't actually work. I got a pentakill in League of Legends the other day and I thought it was cute and I would upload it, just a short clip, and I went to try to find the clip and I spent quite a while watching the same replay to try to get to 15 minutes in to find the clip, and the replay just kept crashing over and over. And that's the sort of state we're in here, because as the game ends, the scoreboards are all weird. I'm clicking, mousing over, trying to see the score, and it's not showing anything. So that's how awful the theater mode is. Make sure you subscribe for more.